The Rifleman, the most used and probably the most familiar class in the Rising Storm. But what does it take to be a good rifleman? Can you be the most effective rifleman in the game? If you're unable to answer any of these questions, well, it's okay because Dolce is here to help you become a better rifleman in Rising Storm. Oh boy, I probably offended someone with that accent. I don't even know what it was. Somewhere in the UK region, somewhere around there. Anyways, if I offended anyone, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Well, I will. I'll probably do it again. So, the Rifleman class, one of the best classes in my opinion, because of the high damage that some of these rifles can put out, and the fact that they are very, very accurate and deadly at long ranges. It really makes them one of the most valuable weapons in the game on the battlefield. So, let's start by taking a look at the different rifles within the Rifleman's class on the American side. Now, we have the Springfield rifle and the M1 Garand, and that's it. that's all there is. Now the Springfield is a bolt-action rifle, and the M1 Garand, of course, it's a very famous rifle, is a semi-automatic rifle. Now, I don't know the exact amount of damage that the weapon puts out, but it does seem that the Springfield rifle puts out a little bit more damage than the M1 Garand. So, if you're taking out targets at longer ranges and play more of a supportive role, I would go with the Springfield. It looks like it has a faster muzzle velocity or bullet speed than the M1 Garand, and it has better iron sight to take people out from longer ranges. So, you will probably get a one-shot kill most of the time if you manage to hit your targets from the chest above. Now, the only downside with this weapon is that it only holds 5 rounds, so you better make them count. Now, the M1 Garand plays a little bit different. With this weapon, you have 7 rounds, and the weapon reloads relatively fast, so that gives you a little bit more flexibility on the battlefield. And with the M1 Garand, you can afford to get in a little bit closer, but still keep a distance from your enemies. And you're way better off playing the second line of attack with this weapon and keeping the enemy at a distance while your teammates with their flamethrowers and submachine guns getting close to take the objective and clear out things like bunkers and trenches. Now, if you adapt this playstyle, you will find that you're way more effective as a rifleman. Just make sure that you don't rush things and move from cover to cover, not exposing yourself all that much while putting pressure on the enemy. And what I always do when I'm attacking is I pick an area and try to hold it for as long as I can while I'm pushing the enemy back. And I carefully peek and take out targets one by one until it's safe to move up a couple of meters. And I just repeat the whole thing. A big part of this game is just waiting until your enemy makes a bad move. So try and outsmart your enemies. And once in a while, if you feel like you're stuck in an area, don't repeat the same mistakes. Just take a look at the situation from a distance and try to find an opening somewhere. You will always find a weak spot in the enemy's defense, and when you do, it only takes one guy with a rifle to break down their defenses and let your team push up. Now, if you're defending, the same rules don't really apply. Now you have to be the first in the line of defense because you really don't want the enemy coming in too close. So your teammates with submachine guns, they're really not going to be able to do that much at range. However, it is more important than ever to keep your enemies as far away from you as possible while keeping your area of the map under control and free of enemies. So when you're defending, the focus lays more on taking out as many enemies possible without you pushing up too far in the enemy spawn. So those are pretty much the basics of being a decent rifleman. I wouldn't say the best rifleman, but a decent rifleman in Rising Storm. And I hope that this has helped you. You know, that this has helped you getting better at the game, because this game is all about good positioning and solid tactics. And if you put in the effort to think ahead of your actions, you will definitely be rewarded. So I hope you enjoyed this short little video, and I hope that it will help you out on the battlefield. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite playstyle with the Rifleman's class? I'd like to know. I'm curious. I'm feeling curious today. I am Dolce, and I'll see you in the next video.